Trundle banned right out of the gate. Trundle pretty much been picker banned the entire tournament. I don't even know if it slipped through the draft. I have to go back and check. I don't believe it has. Maybe in the first couple of games before people figured out how strong it is.
Grounded.
It's just a smart ban. It just makes sense in a tournament structure like this. The format. He's just too good to be left unbanned.
And the Talia ban coming in must be a target ban. I would be surprised if Talia was just banned because I thought it was strong. There has to be somebody on the enemy team who plays it.
What will Solo Bolos be banning next? Yorick?
Definitely
coming
they
out?
do not want to see those prime split pushers.
Tyrant.
No, they do not. And then the Aurelia coming out. Wow. Again, I don't know how strong that's going to be in a format like this. I mean, the passive auto attacks just attacking really fast on these platings. But it doesn't seem like it'd be so impossible to deal with. So it could be a target ban.
Yeah, we did see the Aurelia come out a few times, but pretty much every time it was a response to Yorick, the Aurelia into Yorick counter, since her Q can one-shot the ghouls. But with Yorick banned, it is a little bit curious. I would understand the Aurelia ban if they were looking to pick away the Yorick, but with Yorick off the table, I'm also a bit confused.
And then Heimerdinger and Dr. Mundo going to round out our bans. Both of those picks, the Heimerdinger makes sense for the turrets. The Mundo, just a tank. Hard to deal with in lane and later in the game, especially with Demolish. Wukong being our first pick for the solo Bolos.
We saw Wukong have success in an earlier game today. I was able to get a few solo kills once they hit level 6. Wukong also notoriously has a deceptively fast turret take, with the W giving him essentially 2 clones to the turret, and they can both land Q. His E gives him an attack speed steroid. A Wukong with an item or two can melt through a turret in a few seconds flat.
And the Gnar getting picked out. Seems like it could be a good strong pick later in the game. Definitely can be a lane bully. And then the Nico coming through.
Maybe just for some more of that team fight prowess. Gnar and Nico also very good in grouped up fights. They could be looking to try to pressure one lane with these champions, run it down a lane, force the enemy team to respond, and fight into their big Wombo ultimates.
The Shin being hovered here, gonna be locked in. Very good global pressure with his ultimate. Is able to join other teammates in lane. Not too early on, but will be good. And then the Nasus being hovered here. A great split pushing presence. If it gets locked in, it will be. It kind of provides the late game for solo Bolos, although they're lacking some range options. They kind of have the enhanced auto attacks with the Wukong Q and Nasus Q, but other than that, they really are lacking a lot of range.
Yeah, maybe with the Shen pick, they're looking more towards the future, towards the back half of the game, where the Shen could be used either as a surprise extra split pusher, or if they think that the teleporter is going to be too slow to respond to an enemy push, the Shen could rejoin and get some numbers in 3 seconds instead of the 7 or 8 it would take the TP. So Shen both an aggressive and a defensive pick. I would be surprised if the Shen doesn't go Demolish. My guess would be that the plan is Nasus or Wukong get to a turret, Shen ults, and then all of a sudden you've got 2 people there when wasn't necessarily expecting the turret to go down that fast.
And the Warwick coming through, he's able to run across the map really fast with his Relentless Pursuit, but I don't know how that's going to come into play. Maybe it's a jungle angle from one of these teams. I haven't seen that. I know it has been played, but it's a very interesting strategy to have a jungler in this kind of meta.
Now, Warwick is also pretty famous for having a very strong top lane phase, and the 3 champions that the enemy team picked are 3 essentially top laners. So I feel like no matter who Warwick matches up against, if the Warwick is piloted correctly, would be a real threat in the laning phase. If the Warwick doesn't get ahead and the game crosses the 10-minute threshold without Warwick getting meaningful solo kills or a CS lead, then I think the pick would not be worth it. But will be exciting to see. Warwick also recently got a mini rework on his W, which made his laning even stronger. So we'll be interested to see if the Warwick can help blow up in the game early on.
I think the scaling here for solo Bolos, it's very important that they don't fall behind early. If they just make it out of lane phase even, they have a very good shot of just being able to pressure these towers, pushing side lanes and winning through that avenue. I imagine they were looking to take up the grubs as soon as possible.
Yeah, funnily enough, speaking of grubs, the last time that we saw Nico in one of these games, that Nico definitely had an interesting objective-related strategy. She walked up to the grubs and ulted them for the AoE, taking them down a little bit faster. Don't know if that's a strategy that we'll see again, but something to think about. Maybe ulting the grubs is the move.
Could be an impersonation angle of just changing into a grub, hiding out, and then trying to get some kind of sneaky shenanigans going on. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this matchup plays out between these two teams. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think Warwick, Nico, and Gnar, I think you could put them pretty much in any matchup against any of the opposing three champions, and all three of them would be very happy with their lane matchup. I think we're going to see Red Side again. They have to pilot the champions correctly, but if played properly, they should have 3 winning lanes. Now the question is, of course, their team much worse side laning, in my opinion, does not scale as well. So if they can't find an advantage with their winning lanes, it could be a problem. But I think that's what we're looking at here is just a race against the clock.
But yeah, we're getting into the loading phase of the solo Bolos versus the Swangers. I don't think the Swangers are out of it. Obviously, being a little lower ranked doesn't help, but it having the extra time to practice together as a team will certainly be good. Oh, interesting. The Wukong taking teleport smite.
Yeah, most times if a champion decides to go with the smite, they tend to opt to replace the spell that isn't teleport. Now on Wukong it could be tough. Wukong tends to be a very flash reliant champion to get those flash ults off. But usually if you're going to go smite, you want to keep the teleport because when you have less mobility around the map, it turns out the TPs are just that much more valuable. Also, I guess maybe the Wukong's not too worried about needing the flash to escape a potential fight because he does have the Shen ultimate to back him up, so maybe he feels like he can play aggressively even without the flash. Also, I don't know if you can hear that on my mic, but my cat is screaming at me.
I can, but I was gonna highlight the spellbook swap from Nasus. That could come into play, going Ghost TP, having the extra mobility and all the variety that comes with that is very, very strong.
Yeah, something really interesting about spellbook specifically with some of these champions is that there's a funny little strategy you can do. You get your first spellbook swap at 6 minutes, and so you can swap to ignite. That'll be right around the time that you get your ultimate up. Press R, press ignite, go for an all-in, try to get a cheesy little solo kill. I've seen champions like Malphite, Sion, Ornn, Sejuani, Nasus. I've seen all these champions try to take advantage of that strategy before. We'll see if this Nasus has that in mind or not. It appears on the red side we have 3 demolishes. On blue side, we only have 2. Wukong opted for the Cosmic Insight. Most likely we'll be planning on doing some jungling then, because Cosmic Insight is pairs great with Smite, faster Smite cooldown.
Minions have spawned.
I think the the jungle camps. We've just seen so many people fall behind in gold and experience that if you're able to just pick up a little extra through just 1 or 2 camps here and there, it makes a big difference. So we'll see how these teams play it out. But I'm liking what I see from solo Bolo so far.
Yeah, now the one problem with the solo Bolos that I can point out right away is that if you were planning on doing some jungling, I think that it's a mistake for the Wukong to go Doran's Blade. You can't have a Doran's item and a jungle pet at the same time, so if the plan was to swap over to a jungle pet at any point, he would have to sell that Doran's Blade, which would be a big loss of about 240 gold. So maybe the Wukong just planning on sticking around in lane for a bit longer then, only taking a camp here and there. Or maybe even only took the smite for objectives and nothing else.
It's very possible, but some early pressure mid lane here. We'd like to see it. It's going to be a hard matchup to win, surely, for this Wukong mid lane. I don't know if he's trying to win. I think he's just trying to survive.
Yeah, and we saw Wukong versus Jin as a matchup earlier. It turns out when Wukong gets level 6, he does pretty well into some of those ranged champions. So maybe that could be the angle, is just Wukong play safe until 6 and then try to look for something.
A lot of early, all 3 lanes from the Swangers getting pushed up early. Looks like this was part of their strategy to have some early lane pressure.
Yeah, as expected, Nico, Warwick, Gnar, all very strong lane bully champions.
Bin finding a nice taunt onto Gnar, having Gnar's gonna have to flash out. Maybe not too happy with that, but kind of the riskiest matchup of all 3 of these is that Shin able to taunt you under tower.
Yeah, Rage got to be careful here. Warwick running low on mana. Might want to try to get this wave shoved in sooner rather than later.
He locks down that cannon minion. He's happy with that, but he might be looking for more. I think you're right that he doesn't want to stay too long. He doesn't want to greed.
Yeah, now one thing very specific about Warwick in lane, for those who don't know, you can see that Warwick's floating around half health right now. Warwick gets a lot of sustain when under half health, so most likely that health bar will not be moving at all. No matter how much damage Nasus tries to do to the Warwick, he's probably just gonna stick around at half health indefinitely. The only question is if because of that mana bar, if he needs to be careful and leave. It looks like he will decide to maybe do that. Ooh, got cancelled though.
Nasus, yeah, canceling the recall. A lot of early trading here. I think the Swangers, they're looking really strong early on. All 3 lanes having varying levels of a minion lead. But here we see the Wukong going in for the Scuttle Crab top side. Gonna be beneficial to lock that down, have that extra golden experience. I guess that's gonna make up where the Wukong is gonna lose out on stuff.
Yeah, the Nico opting for an AD build, interestingly, with the lethal tempo and the Vamp Scepter, probably gonna go for a Blade of the Ruin King first. I would say that maybe not a terrible decision, with tanky champions like Nasus and Shen in the game. Having some extra on hit certainly wouldn't hurt.
Makes sense. You want to play for your early game. You want to play for your lane pressure. Gnar taking a lot of damage here. Gonna have to hop away.
Yeah, not respecting Shen's raw damage output early with probably 3 points in Q.
Absolutely. And then you have to consider the pushing power of on-hit Nico versus something else like AP Nico. Definitely something to consider, and probably why they're going for that on-hit build.
Yeah, Warwick was able to reset and was able to run back to lane because of where the wave was, whereas Nasus, also in a similar situation, was pretty low mana, needed to reset, but was forced to TP back. So a little bit of a TP advantage coming in for the Swangers. So we'll see if they'll be able to take advantage of that later.
Yui boy looking to hit level 6. Gets rooted by the Nico.
Ooh, Nico probably could have killed him with R there if they had the mana.
definitely lack a little bit of that damage and sustain of mana. Top lane, Mitkazoo going in on Enrage. Enrage gonna have to flash away. No flash for Mitkazoo.
Yeah,
Just
the one
ghost.
downside of walking back instead of TPing back is that Enrage lost a little bit of XP there. Did not had the ultimate disadvantage. We'll have to see if that ends up making a difference. It's gonna get the ult from this crash, but again, just low mana, and is now going to have to blow that TP.
Looks like solo Bolos, they are spotted out here.
Wow,
they
aggressive
are
TPs. Watch out for
Gotta
the
be doing
Shen
the
ult,
grubs.
though.
They get one. Shen has ult. Looking to try to use it maybe, but they're just going to back off.
Yeah, Gnar doing a good job of marking the Shen, being ready to cancel the ult if necessary.
I don't think the solo Bolos are ready to get these up quite yet. And they aren't. Kiwi Boy snipes one with the smite. The Warwick ult coming through. Wukong ultimate knocking up Enrage. Enrage looking to kill Mitkazoo. Nico trying to find it. Here comes the Shen ult. And nothing's going to come out of it except a few ultimates and some summoner spells.
Yeah, and I wonder though, with Shen needing to TP up here, if Gnar's going to shove it out. If Shen TP's bot, then that's going to be no TPs for solo Bolos, whereas Gnar was able to hold on to his.
And yeah, here it comes out. This just having to match that because you can't let this wave die. You can't let it crash. The taunt coming through from Shin. Gnar's taking quite a bit of damage, but not quite ready to back off yet.
Yeah, the real painful thing is that Gnar wasn't able to get the wave shoved, so he's going to have to stick around.
He needs to crash this wave if he's going to get a good recall off. Mitkazoo starting to stack up. Starting to get some good Nasus stacks. Zera looking to kill Das Brute. Shin and Gnar fighting in the bot lane.
Yeah, Kiwi Boy's got to be careful. I think one more Nico Q might be able to do it there.
Wukong's looking really low in the mid lane.
Yeah, doesn't have TP, really does not want to lose a wave, trying to min-max the situation as much as he can.
And he barely gets out with his clone, taking the root. As Gnar's super low bot lane, he's going to have to back out. Some heavy trading by both sides. And Rage top lane looking low.
Yeah, but
he
Nasus
doesn't
burned
have
ult
his
for
TP.
this.
The Warwick ult coming through, and Rage fighting.
Yeah,
Nasus
Warwick is
down.
fine here.
Warwick has the sustain. We were talking about that health bar. It's going to go right back up to half, and it's going to stay there.
Yeah, and once again, both Warwick and Nasus pretty low on mana. I feel like this has been a recurring trend with these two. Maybe both of them need to work on their mana management a little bit.
I don't think Enrage needs to be using all of his abilities, his Q especially, to heal up, when he can just rely on his passive. That's definitely where his main mana issues are coming from.
And maybe also overusing E. I saw him kind of clicking it any time the Nasus walked up to him, so...
Wukong taking advantage of that smite, getting in the Raptors, trying to get some sort of camp advantage. CS trying to stay within range of Nico's CS.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think even if the Wukong had taken flash, I mean, like, flashing onto a Nico doesn't really do much when the Nico can just press R in response and then kind of cancel out your engage. So I think Wukong, regardless whether he had flash or smite, would have been behind in the lane, but because he took the smite, he was able to get Scuttle Crab faster. He took the Raptors, he stole one of the grubs. So I would say so far the summoner spell is doing pretty decently.
I'd say these. I think you're right. I think the matchups here too, like the Gnar into the Shin, right? That's just it's been very, very strong. He has a lot of CS on him. You have the Nico into the Wukong, and it's just you just like to see what the Swangers are doing here. You really do.
Yeah,
I
but
think
once again,
they've
there's just the looming question. I think it's very clear that they do not have the scaling comp. The triple demolish certainly helps for the side lane, but when push comes to shove, I think if we get to the 20-minute mark, you would rather be Nasus, Wukong, and Shen. So, can the Swangers use this lead that they've developed to push the game forward, increase the tempo of the game, and maybe close it out before the other champions become too much of a problem?
The second grubs are coming up. I think that's where a lot of this fighting is going to start to manifest. To start and Rage. Ooh, you hate to see it. Ults the Wukong clone, was about to despawn, just didn't time it quite right. As Nasus gets a free push top lane though.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what's happening to this turret. Nasus even popped the ultimate to take the turret faster.
Nico teleporting up to try to stop the Nasus. I think it's a good idea from the Swangers because they don't want to give up that tower. They don't want to just let it die. As Enrage is looking for the plate, gets it, but he might lose his life. Instead, he loses his flash.
Yeah, and right back up to half health he goes.
And right back up to half health. That's the power of Warwick early on. Or Warwick in general. But
yeah, maybe he didn't even need to flash there.
I think if he just turned in auto attacks, he probably would have been fine, but better safe than sorry, not giving over a first blood.
Yeah, and he did get a plate for it. That's what he did. He walked up, proc the demolish, got a plate. So, Wukong, no flash, no ult. I wonder if Warwick will likely be able to just keep on doing it. Maybe can take this mid turret first turret of the game.
Yeah, the mid tower at one plate. The grubs are up. I don't know if they're going to go for him. They're going to despawn rather quickly. But mid tower's looking really low. The demolish is coming through again. Rage fighting Kiwi Boy, but is not going to be able to get it just yet. It's that extra armor from the turret plating falling.
Yeah, one more demolish proc would do it though, or 14 minutes comes, like 2 auto attacks would kill that thing. On the flip side though, if they make a mistake, like this Nico is low mana, if the Nasus can get to the turret, he's just going to go for the dive here, I think.
And he's going to get it off. There's the Ignite Ghost combo that you were talking about.
Yep.
And the Nasus gets an easy kill onto Nico. Nico blowing the flash, didn't even need mana either. But Warwick teleporting up to save the tower. Nasus isn't going to be able to get it. Great stuff from the Swangers to stop that turret from falling. As Wukong, Kiwi Boy starting up the grubs. Trying to lock in numbers 3, 4, and 5 for Solo Bolo, which is really going to help them scale.
Yeah, interestingly, Nico has a tier. I don't know if AD Nico really needs the mana. Ooh, nice clone from Kiwi Boy.
Great clone from Kiwi Boy. I'm thinking the tiers from just the mana issues that they've experienced, but that isn't really due to mana issues, it's due to misuse of the resources. As the Nasus gets stronger, the Nard's going to take down the tier 1. The Kiwi Boy, though, falling away. Shin ult coming through. The Nar's coming out. He's going to try to find Kiwi Boy. Will he be able to do it? He does. And will he be able to make it out from the Shin? Enrage coming through. And it's going to be 1-0.
Yeah, nice play for Das Brute, able to get the mid turret, able to outplay the 2v1 situation with the flash. And because they got the first turret, even though they didn't get first blood, no risk for the feats of strength coming through anymore.
What you like to see. That's a very good point, because it's a strong change that they've made. Its grub count is 4-2. Nasus gonna be looking for Enrage here. Probably gonna find him. He's slowed down. He does.
Yeah, once again, Warwick, no mana.
Nice. 2 users of slightly magical footwear this game. Nasus and Wukong gonna be coming through soon with some full boots, probably. Great stuff from the side of Solo Bolo. I like the rune choices a lot.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, I love to see anybody who's running Unsealed Spellbook. That's my keystone right there. That's the one that I run almost every game. So
Nico taking down the dragon. Hit Mountain Drake.
yeah, bonus jungle monster damage on the Q and on the W empowered auto attack, plus the Blade of the Rune King means she can take objectives pretty quickly.
Swangers like to see that. Gonna help them. They do have the gold lead. They have the turret lead, but like we're talking about, these scaling picks. I mean, you have the Heartsteel coming out from Shen, 2 Trinity Forces. These items are starting to stack up. They're starting to build their second items. They have their tier 1s. Warwick still has not completed his first major item. That's definitely going to come into play if he's going to try to fight anyone in a 1v1. Definitely going to be at a disadvantage.
Warwick and Nico taking a look at this Rift Herald, but Nasus and Wukong are in the area. We'll see if they end up taking a peek and scouting this out, or if this is just going to go over uncontested. Looks like Wukong will see them now.
Solo Bolos is going to spot it out. He has the smite.
No Shenel yet.
He's the threat here. Kiwi Boy going to make it out with the clone. Enraged, looking for the ultimate. Finds it. Suppression kills Wukong. Mick now in a 1v2 against Nico and Warwick. Warwick gonna flash away, gonna die.
Gnar first move though here.
Gnar's the first to move. The Shin has ultimate. The Herald's gonna reset. Shin's just gonna keep on pushing. I guess they had some good comms there to not take the Shin away from the side lane.
Yeah, 1 for 1.
But that was a good stop from Solo Bolos to not let them take the Rift Herald.
Yeah, somebody's got to respond to this
Swangers
Nasus. He's gonna take this this top tier 2 if they're not careful. I don't know if we're.
Looks like I don't think he's gonna get there in time. The Wukong is going after the clone Nico. Well played clone stuff there from Bra. And Shin's gonna make it out to Zera from Das Brute.
So we got somebody in chat saying go PoE. Who I don't know who PoE is. It's not either of the teams or any of the 6 players, but thanks for showing your support.
Are they saying Power of Evil?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Power of Evil, Path of Exile, who knows?
Like that's my only
Prince
knowledge
of
of
Egypt.
PoE in League. Oh. Oh my gosh. Here we have Solo Bolos. They're taking down the Rift Herald. The Swangers do not have vision of this. I don't think they know what's going on.
Maybe they do. You can see that their 2 wards that they had in the pit expired recently, so maybe they saw the front end of it, just decided they couldn't contest.
Maybe. But that's going to be a Rift Herald for Solo Bolo, which with only the top tier 1 down, they definitely need that Rift Herald to start pushing this game, start creating that advantage of being so scale heavy.
You know what's kind of disgusting is that I'm actually, I don't know if they know, but I'm pretty sure Nasus and Wukong could just group up top lane, drop the Herald, and because of the Shen TP could maybe look to like threaten maybe even an end. Like you get that crash onto the tier 2, you proc 1 demolish, that turret's gone. You get the crash into the tier 3. If the enemy team tries to group up, you have the Shenel, you can try to fight it out. You have enough protection on your turrets that I don't think they could counter end if they ace you, so maybe
Nico with a little bit of the skies mechanic, trying to find the Wukong, being a little over aggressive, but doesn't quite have the damage being on hit. Das Brute looking for the Shen bot lane. Maybe trying to find something here.
Yeah, Shen might have overstepped actually.
He finds the Gnar, finds the stun. Tozera looking a little low. Das Brute flashing forward.
TP coming in.
Meanwhile,
from the
mid lane
Nasus.
Nico finds it. The teleport, the Nasus teleport gets canceled though by the Warwick Fear. But here comes the ghost out from Nasus. Mick looking to kill Enrage.
Warwick has an ult. Nasus has to be careful here.
Nasus needs to be careful. He pops the ultimate. Warwick super low, but not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, Gnar will probably be able to take this entire turret. Maybe going to look for a potential dive on the Shen too. Eyeing it up at the moment.
Looking for a dive. Doesn't take the turret quite yet. Kiwi Boy clearing out mid lane. Nico's there. Gonna try to find something here, but Nico's just pumping out the damage. Jhin teleporting bot lane as Nard takes down the bot lane tier 2. The Swangers, this is an exciting game. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of opportunities for both of these teams to just push down one lane and try to end it quickly.
Now, I must have completely missed it, but at some point, Solo Bolos used the Rift Herald. I didn't get to see where or what happened to it.
I'm guessing it was the bot lane, tier 1, as it's super low. It is possible it was the top lane. I'm guessing it was bot lane, or it just died. That's what makes sense to me. Kiwi Boy looking for the 1v1 onto the Nico. The tier 2 is going to go down. Nico flashes away. Wukong, no flash to follow, though, and that's where the smite is coming back to bite you. The Swangers looking really good here. Nico trying to get a recall off. Everyone's on the bottom side of the map right now.
Yeah, we can see the end of the game right here.
Enrage finding the ult onto Kiwi Boy. Not looking great for him. Here comes the movement speed, finds the Q. The Shen ultimate coming through to save Kiwi Boy. They want to save this Wukong. If they lose him, they think it might be game.
Check out the Nasus.
Nasus hasn't stopped split pushing though. Here comes the teleport. The ultimate coming through. And then Gnar is here now. Das Brute going to try to stop Mick from winning this game, from backdooring them. He's taking a lot of damage, this Nasus. Will he be able to stop the Gnar from killing him and be able to push? No, he's just going to back away. Might be looking to collapse here on the Nasus. Enrage has the movement speed, has the fear. Das Brute. They find the Nasus. They get the shutdown onto Warwick. That's big for the red side.
Yeah,
Swangers.
Pretty big shutdown, but instead of using the opportunity to push, they're gonna go for the dragon instead. And I don't think a second dragon is really going to influence the outcome of this game. So I don't know if I would agree with that. Maybe they could have gotten some meaningful damage on the bot tier 3 instead. The wave looked decent.
I mean, when you only have to take an inhibitor, it becomes just a simple game of, well, if we can push now, 3v2 and win, let's just do that. What's the point of trying to scale up against these champions who, I mean, it's Nasus. He's just going to get better as the game goes on further. It can't go on too much longer, but I imagine they're going to be able to do very little with that extra dragon.
Gnar could be in trouble here. Nasus' ghost is coming up.
Kiwi Boy and Nasus looking to take down Das Brute with a nice hop over the wall. He might escape. Meanwhile, top lane, Enrage fighting the Shen, making sure he can't join. But Das Brute barely surviving on 1 HP. Will he be able to make it out? No, he will not. As Warwick follows with the Q onto Tozera, finds him, and it'll be a 1-for-1. With a TP from Nasus top lane. I guess they're trying to push top lane to knock down that tier 2. It's rather low. But will Nico be able to find the tier 3?
Checking out Warwick low on mana once again. Let's see if he can hold this.
Enrage not going to be able to stop Mick from just running down that tier 2, knocking it down. Enrage is out of mana. The Nasus Q's a minion, but doesn't matter. He's just too strong. Gonna knock Enrage out, who just doesn't have the mana, does not have the firepower to deal with this. And this might be close to the end of the game.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with Nico sticking around. Let's see. She's also trying to take that turret. Gnar is here. Can they stop Nasus from ending the game? Looks like they will be able to. Oh, but the Shen TPing in.
Coming through.
Oh,
not going to be able to find it though. And the tier 3 is going to fall down. Wow. The Nico dies, but they get the tier 3.
Well,
both inhibitors are exposed.
Double open inhibitors. This is quite the game.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you'd have to look at your TPs, right? You only have Shen teleport. But you do have the Nico teleport, and the Warwick one is up very, very soon. And the Wukong one just popped up. So
Yeah, and also
gonna be
to
about
consider, when that Shen ult comes back, you could see, like, the NASA swapped to Flash, and obviously the Wukong has the dash over the wall as well. You could see either one of them try to, like, flash or dash over that wall, Shen ults, and then they just go for a mad dash for the inhib, wouldn't even need a TP. So we'll have to see what their game plan is. You also have Nico who can disguise as something small and maybe try to slip in there.
And it's on hit Nico. Even if you're in your minion form, you're still going to be able to just absolutely destroy these inhibitors, or I guess towers if you're going for that. But most likely, the Swangers are just going to try to find something for a backdoor angle, and I could see the solo Bolos doing the exact same thing. Wanting to protect their own base, but also look for something if they can.
Yeah, Shen's looking for a deep ward right now. We'll have to see if Warwick spots him out or not.
He's staying out of vision now, but he pops the Scryer's Bloom. They're paying him out. The Swangers know that Shen is going for this. He's going to dash over the wall. No, he just placed the ward. He's just going to place the ward and stay.
Yeah, no sweepers for Swangers, so they can't actually get rid of that right now.
I think Warwick might be going to swap to it, but I'm not quite sure yet. They might be waiting for the Nasus teleport to come through to try to end the game. Maybe they're a little worried that they don't have the damage with just Wukong and Shen. But they are going to clear that ward with a control ward.
Yeah, Swangers have their inhibitor well defended. Double control ward's going to stop any of those sight wards from sticking around for the back door.
Iwi looking to fight Nico down bot lane. Finds the ultimate. Nico uses her ultimate to try to escape, and Wukong's just going to clear the wave. Exchange of ultimates.
Yeah, surely we're not going to see a situation where we're stalling this game out until Dragon Soul, right? That's not what's going to happen here.
I mean, I was saying 5 minutes ago, and so are you, that the dragon doesn't seem like it'll matter, but if they get a third dragon, Soul is on the table. Like, granted, it is an open inhibitor, so the game could be over at any point. But maybe they go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't commit any more than one person to it. If you commit two, that's really dangerous, especially with the 6 teleports flying around, all of which are up, including the Shen ult, so 7 teleports if you want to think about it that way.
Nico's starting up the dragon, trying to solo it. He's going to be able to do so pretty easily, being on hit. Gnar could be looking to backdoor here, and he is. They're going for a backdoor play. Both teams, the Swangers, finding Gnar there. Nico's staying on the dragon. Going to teleport top lane now, as the Swangers are fighting, and now the solo Bolos maybe are going to end the game.
Yeah.
And they get it first. Wow.
Wow, the double base race, but Gnar was stuck in mega form, so didn't have the attack speed to do it.
And the solo Bolos win the game in a base race for the ages.
Yeah, 30-minute double open inhibitor heater right there.